Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte defends his decision to grant United States Marine Joseph Scott Pemberton absolute pardon over his killing of Filipina transgender woman Jennifer Laude.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but ito ang tingin ko sa kaso. You have not treated Pemberton fairly. So, i-release ko. Pardon. If there is a time where you are called upon to be fair, be fair. Be fair. Ngayon, sabi mo, Duterte, fair ka ba dyan sa mga drogista? Be cruel. Be cruel. Putang ina ninyo, sinabi ko ng let's kayo. Sinisira ninyo yung bayan.
Pemberton was earlier sentenced to 10 years in prison last December 2015, but ordered released 4 years earlier after he was recently granted full credits of good conduct time allowance under Philippine law. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque also justifies Duterte's decision 4 days after condemning the court decision to release Pemberton. A former human rights lawyer, Roque once defended the family of Laude. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana signs the contract with Chinabacked telecommunications company Dito Telecommunity, allowing the telco to build cell sites within Philippine military camps.
Has the Secretary prohibited the Dito Communications to put up towers in the military camps as proposed before?
They will be allowed on camps that are already also. They have the most camps actually in the Philippines have already cell site towers of the Globe and Smart, and the contract or the memorandum of agreement that I signed approved between the AFP and Dito is that it will just be limited to those camps as well. I think this is just fair for Dito because they will also be providing signals or telco services in the provinces.
Lorenzana says the armed forces of the Philippines assured him it will institute safeguards to prevent any security breaches. Lorenzana signed the contract with Dito Telecommunity despite a military risk analysis saying radio frequency eavesdropping, interception, and jamming are among highly likely risks that come with allowing the contract to push through. Experts also warn Filipinos are also at risk of having their data farmed by China through Dito Telecommunity. Several developed countries have banned Chinese technology providers such as Huawei and ZTE from their communication systems to protect against espionage and data breaches. Dito Telecommunity is a joint venture of the Dennis Uy-led Udena Corporation and Chelsea Logistics and Infrastructure Holdings Corporation and the Beijing-owned China Telecommunications. Uy is a Davao businessman known to be one of the top campaign contributors of President Rodrigo Duterte. Interior Secretary Eduardo Año says the Philippine government will ban the home quarantine of people who have COVID-19. In an interview on CNN Philippines Tuesday, September 8, Año says the government plans to strictly implement a no-home quarantine policy within the week in an attempt to contain the virus. He says there will be exceptions, but the plans have yet to be finalized. But the health department later says home quarantine is encouraged if certain conditions are met. Currently, the government allows asymptomatic and mild COVID-19 cases to home quarantine, provided there is a separate room and toilet for the patient. The Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases must pass a resolution approved by President Rodrigo Duterte before it can be implemented. As of Tuesday, COVID-19 cases in the Philippines breached 240,000 as the DOH reports 3,281 new cases. Meanwhile, senators again call for the resignation of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III as part of their final report on their investigation of alleged massive corruption in state health insurer PhilHealth. But Duterte once again shields Duque from criticism.
Secretary Duque, this is not the time for you to resign. I have full trust in you.
Duterte's defense of Duque does not sit well with Senators Tito Soto and Panfilo Lacson. In a tweet, Soto says, quote, "Board governs PhilHealth. They disburse 14.8 billion pesos in 3 pandemic months illegally. DOH Secretary is unmistakably and irreplaceably its chair." What, he had no involvement? Why, congrats! Billions. Lacson tweets, with his appointed chief investigator to his right and one of those being accused in the PhilHealth mess to his left, he cleared the accused of any wrongdoing. End of story. Environmentalists, fisherfolk, and church groups petitioned to stop the dumping of crushed dolomite along the Manila Bay Walk. The groups on Tuesday, September 8, cite the Environment Department or DENR's non-compliance with national laws and environmental regulations. The group's petition says the dumping must be stopped as it has not undergone an environmental impact assessment nor a consultative and participatory process in both Manila Bay and Cebu. The petition also says among the laws violated were environmental impact system laws and regulations, the Fisheries Code, Clean Water Act, and the National Culture Heritage Act of 2009. Manila Bay is also a National Historical Landmark, so construction and development projects must be permitted by the National Historical Commission. The Cebu Provincial Board did not issue any permit for the extraction of dolomite rocks. It was the Central Visayas Office of the DNR's Mining and Geosciences Bureau which issued the permit to extract and transport the controversial dolomite. The groups add if the government is to truly rehabilitate Manila Bay, it should address ecological degradation, pollution, and socio-economic issues in the area. In a statement, Senator Nancy Binay also calls for the halting of the project, saying the project was rushed and does not have a comprehensive plan. Meanwhile, using memes, Filipinos online poke fun at the DNR for what they say was a purely aesthetic move. Some also make fun of presidential spokesperson Harry Roque's defense of the project, who claims it could improve the mental health of Filipinos during the pandemic. A video claiming the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant will be reopened is false. A Facebook video on the page FLM contains text saying Bataan Nuclear Power Plant will reopen, a solution to the increasing price of electricity. The video has been viewed over 371,000 times and has gotten over 13,000 reactions and 1,500 comments. A screenshot of the video thumbnail was posted on the page Solid Duterte on August 27. It was flagged by Facebook's fact-checking tool ClaimCheck as potentially misleading. So far, there have been no laws passed on reopening the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant. President Rodrigo Duterte signed an executive order for a study on a national position on nuclear energy, but it does not say the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant must reopen. EO 116, signed on July 24, establishes a Nuclear Energy Program Interagency Committee. The committee has not made any recommendations so far. The EO states the committee must report its findings no later than January 2021. Duterte has said in the past pursuing nuclear energy might be unconstitutional. Article 2, Section 8 of the Constitution states the Philippines adopts and pursues a policy of freedom from nuclear weapons in its territory.